to another episode of Smashing That Bass. Before we get into what we're going to do today real quick, don't forget I'm doing a giveaway. I'm giving away a brand new casting rod. It is Fenwick World Class 7.6 medium heavy casting rod. Also, I'm also giving away the Daiwa Fuego casting reel along with it. Alright, so what I got for y'all today is, I've been looking for a kayak, a stand-up kayak, if you've been watching my channel for any time. So we have an hour and a half drive to a kayak store in PA to look at the Bonafide Ss107. I'm also looking at the Recon 120. The Recon 120 is really what I want, but there's nowhere near me that has it in stock that I can look at. I'm not going to purchase anything today. We're just going to look. So I'm going to take you guys along with me. As I mentioned in my last video, around this time of the year when it becomes winter and things kind of start to freeze over and stuff, I go ahead and kind of just take that time off, spend it with my family, because it takes a lot of time to edit these videos and do everything. But I will sporadically put one out here and there, and we'll see you there at the store. Alright, I'm here at Blue Mountain Outfitters in PA, about 7 miles from Harrisburg. I just want to tell you guys real quick, this place is insane. I'm just going to show you what they have right now. They have all kinds of stuff. Kayaks, gear, everything. This place is sick. Let's go ahead and do it.
Swivel seat. Fishermen like that. The fact that you can move it along that tracking pretty much wherever you want to be on the boat. And it's just a simple, big, wide, pretty good base on it. So if you don't need a lot of frills but want to add stuff down the line, you got your track mounting pretty much bow to stern. It's gonna afford you that opportunity.
Yeah, what I really liked about it was all the accessories they make for it and the open deck space. The only issue that I had come across just from researching was a lot of people said if you lean to the left or right, it will tip easy. Because I know it doesn't have I don't think it has that tri-hull or cathedral, correct? So it's easier to
probably a little tippier. The SS series, the 107, the 127, those guys are built more with that pontoon style. You can actually come right over here and see it. Pontoon would have, which you're right, the Frontier does not have. Makes this guy a little heavier, but
yeah, well, I'm fine with that. I mean, I want stability, because what I want to do is put a trolling motor on it with spot lock. Now like I said, I just was told some stuff and researched it, but some people were saying, I don't know if I believe them because I've watched a bunch of videos on the stability, but a couple people were saying that I don't want to say they're false advertising, but that it's not as stable as they make it out to be. But it seems to be pretty stable from the videos that I have seen.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on them. I think they're more stable than pretty much anything else. The bigger, heavier boat you get, usually the better off it's going to do, the wider the hull and everything. So.
Right. So, have you ever been on the Recon 120? I'm assuming not. It's so new.
We haven't even got one into the shop yet. We've got one scheduled for the end of February to show up, and then some more coming in the spring. But yeah, none of us have seen it beyond pictures.
All right. So I'm waiting on the guy that we just spoke with to come back. He's going to see with the manager if they will let me go out on the water and test the Bonafide Ss107. I'm hoping so, because I think it's either going to be the Bonafide or the Recon 120. They said they can also get those, they just don't have them right now. So in the spring I'll be coming back and testing that out when they get it. Let's see what he says, see if we'll be on the water here in a minute or not. Alright, so we got this top hatch. Not sure if that's supposed to come with any kind of dry bag or you know, divider bucket in there or whatever, but it does not have it at the time. There's the latches. Here's your foot pegs. Here's your little storage, whatever you want to use it for. You use it to mount a trolling motor in it. I know I've seen some people mount the fish finder in it. I think this can even accept a pedal drive if you want. This 107 actually has the tray, which I know is kind of an added feature. I guess maybe depending on where you buy it, but to my understanding from Bonafide, it's supposed to be an added feature, so you'd have to pay extra for it. There's the seat. The seat seems pretty sweet. Got your back tank well, bungees, your little access point, and back here where you can throw a trolling motor on the rear, which I will not be doing. I will be putting a bell mount trolling motor on up front here. One Objective, I think it's called, makes a mount for this, and you can do it without it, but if I do wind up picking this kayak up, I will be getting that One Objective mount, because what it allows you to do is to take your handle off here and then reinstall it when you put that mount on. Then I would also be putting like a keyway plate on there so that you can remove the trolling motor on and off real easily. So if I get the Bonafide, I'll be doing that with the trolling motor. The only thing I don't like about the Bonafide is it has this. I like more of an open deck, but you know, it is a really nice kayak. My first time seeing it in person. It's something I may definitely pick up. We'll just have to wait and see. And then you got the floor here, some kind of like little padding. It's pretty sweet. Really nice kayak. I was looking at the new Canoe Frontier 10 or 12, but from my research, the stability is just doesn't seem to be there, and that's what I want, something that's really stable. It doesn't have that tri-hull. So they're not going to let me test it out just because it's like 40 degrees here. It's December, it gets cold here where I'm at, and they wanted me to have some kind of, you know, waders or something just in case I fell in, so that there was no hypothermia, even that slack water out there on the river where they have a little piece of property. So unfortunately they won't be letting me test it out. Kind of bummed out about that. I did drive an hour and a half, but it's not their fault. I didn't prepare myself for this. I honestly did not think that I was going to be able to test out the Bonafide, but I will be coming back here to test out that and to test out the Recon 120 once they get it in. So we'll definitely be prepared if the weather is a little colder then. So that pretty much does it for this. I got an hour and a half ride back home, so if you guys want to stay tuned, I'll go ahead and tell you why I put the Bonafide back on my list after I had taken it off. See you in the car. We will be going back there probably in the springtime, maybe before, to test out the Bonafide 107 and the Recon 120 once they get it in stock. Okay, so now back to why I added the Bonafide back to my list. First, let's start with why I took it off my list. I didn't like that the deck space wasn't really that open. But with the Recon, you're pretty much getting the same thing. You don't really have a lot of open deck space like you do with the Frontier 10 and 12, where it's all open. So I pretty much added it back to my list because, like I said, if I'm going to get the Recon 120, why not also look at the Bonafide Ss107, since I'm giving up deck space. But why I really added it back to my list was because, like I said earlier, they make a plate that goes on the front of it for a trolling motor, where the Recon 120, I don't know if I'm going to be able to add a trolling motor to the front of that or not. I could probably rig something up, but I don't really want to jerry rig it. So that's why I pretty much added the Bonafide back to my list, just because it's easy to put a bound mount trolling motor on it, and that's one thing I'm definitely putting on this kayak. A bound mount trolling motor with spot lock on it, or anchor mode, whatever it is that you would like to call it. So that's pretty much why I put it back onto my list. Like I said, we will be testing both those kayaks out later down the road. So what's really going to sway me between the Bonafide and the Recon would first of all be stability. If the Recon's more stable, and I think I can make the trolling motor work on that, most likely still be going with that. What I really love about the Recon is how it's got the rod storage on the sides of the kayak. It's not sticking straight up, so you're not having to worry about hitting it while you're casting, or even trees. Your rod catching the trees when they're sticking straight up. That's another thing that's really swaying me towards the Recon. And what's nice about the Recon is where you have the side storage where you can lay your rods down. You have like a little ledge on the side. I know there's some other kayaks that have the lay down rod storage, but they don't really have much of a ledge, so I feel like it would be real easy for your rods to kind of fall in the water as you're grabbing one or the other, and tying them back up. So the fact that the Recon has that ledge and the rods sit down in the kayak is a real plus in my book. Like I said, just for the fact that it doesn't, the rods will not fall into the water, or there's less chance. I haven't seen the Recon in person yet.